Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Edijester. Here we bleed and go again. Just absolutely despair. Where are we today, folks? We're in the land of the National Health Service, who, despite it being obvious that we don't want men in women's changing rooms and that they've not been listening for years, have still tried to delay changes in that particular issue. In other words, the NHS open to Gusset Fumblers everywhere. Please do subscribe. Buy me a coffee, join my Substack, become whatever it is on Twitter. Just give us a hand, will you? And become a warrior teacher. I'll see you later. No, I'm still here. We haven't started yet, have we? No, we haven't started yet. But we're going to start, aren't we? What's it about? Gusset Fumblers in the NHS. This is unbelievable. NHS won't ban trans women from female changing rooms for months. New guidance may not be published until as late as November, the Telegraph reveals. Really? New guidance? You need guidance, do you? Look at those wonderful women! Better to die on your feet than live forever on your knees. We are all Sandy Peggy, and women's rights are not a hate crime. There you go, you see. Now, this is from Daniel Martin, Deputy Political Editor, on the 6th of August. And here we have, the NHS has delayed a ban on staff who are trans women in female changing rooms and lavatories until the autumn. Right. What this says is, the NHS has delayed a ban on men, right, in female changing rooms. They've delayed it. Why do you need to delay it? This is here, you. What? You. Come here. We get Laura Ashley. Get here. Right, okay. Right. You got a ladder in your stockings. Did you know that? Oh, no, thanks for letting me know. Right. You are a man. No, I'm a woman. No. You are a man pretending to be a woman. This room here is the women's changing rooms. Do you understand? Yes, it's my changing room. No, it's not your changing room. It's the women's changing room. Yeah, but I'm a woman. No, you aren't, mate. You're a Gusset Fumbler. Okay? Now, this is the women's. If you look over there, that door there, marked GS, that's for Gusset Fumblers. But it's not marked GS. It just says male. Pretend you're good at that. This is where we're at, the NHS, right? Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary, promised new guidance in April after the Supreme Court ruled that trans women, people who are biological men, cut it out, the Telegraph, that men should be barred from using women's single-sex services. This is guidance that should take 2 lines. In fact, it's guidance that should take 4 lines. No men, lines, 4 words. No men in here. That's it. Biological men, sod off. The Telegraph can reveal that NHS England has no plans to bring out the guidance until late summer or early autumn, meaning it may not be published until October or November. Women's rights charities have said that in not complying with the law, hospitals and GP surgeries were putting female staff and patients in an undignified and humiliating position, not least of all to say unsafe. The group Sex Matters, go Maya, Helen and the team, said it had been approached by staff at several English trusts who had raised objections to men in female facilities, but were rebuffed. How does one rebuff? There's a bloke in my changing room. I'm rebuffing you. It sounds like someone out of bloody Hogwarts, doesn't it? Office rebuffers. You're rebuffed, then bugger off. Unbelievable. NHS England's delay comes even though a health trust in Scotland faces a huge payout. They're saying a health trust in Scotland now instead of NHS 5. I think because they're so worried that they're getting such a bashing, especially now Glenner's been on Joe Rogan and talked about it. It's just, can you imagine the person that's responsible for PR for NHS 5? Not that there should be a PR person, but there probably is. Going, if Glenner's on Joe Rogan, yeah, what's the point? Who's Joe Rogan? Right, because that's what you get, because these people don't know what they're talking about. Who's Joe Rogan? He's only got 21 million followers. Yeah, well, what's the problem with that? He's talking about the court case. Ah! Helen Joyce, the director of advocacy at Sex Matters, except at Christmas when she's the director of advocacy, at Sex Matters said NHS England's failure to forbid unlawful policies permitting trans-identifying hospital staff, men or women for that matter, to use changing rooms for the opposite sex is staggeringly complacent. Sex Matters has heard from several staff. They object to such policies, and rightly so. It cannot be allowed. All around the country, it seems as if lazy, self-satisfied bureaucrats are leaving female staff to face undignified and humiliating conditions, rather than admit that the inclusive policies they put in place were always unlawful and harmful to women. The Supreme Court ruled that a trans woman was not legally a woman because the word sex in the Equality Act refers to biological sex and not self-identified gender. Look at that picture. Isn't that wonderful? There's there's Maya there with Helen. Look, you see? That's a great picture. Oh, it's wonderful. Look at it. Yeah? How far we've come. Let's hope the Online Safety Act doesn't undo it all. It means services which are segregated by sex, such as toilets and changing rooms, should be segregated by sex. Many public bodies have already started observing rules. The Football Association, for example, has barred trans women from the female game. Men have barred men. LARPing, disgusting men with no morals, principles, or standards have been banned from playing in the women's football team. Good, I say. But NHS England has still not acted. It's like some sleepy dinosaur, isn't it? It's an ent. They should change it from NHS to ent. Right? So instead of National Health Service, it would be ENT, E-N-T. What could that stand for? It's like Lord of the Rings, the ENT. What would it stand for? Everybody's nominally tired. Just do it. It's a one-line statement. No men in women's spaces. It's a one-line statement. And by the way, breaking that should be a disciplinary offence which requires instant sacking. Instant sacking. Gross misconduct. No messing. Right. The NHS Confederation, the NHS England is still not acted, despite Sir Keir Starmer telling organisations to comply with the law as soon as possible. What do you mean as soon as possible? This isn't complicated. Just is surreal. This is what they do, obfuscate. The NHS Confederation, which represents trusts, quietly withdrew its guidance 2 months ago. The original guidance said men or women should be allowed to use their chosen toilets and changing rooms. It has not yet been replaced. They were quick enough to put it in, weren't they? Eh? And then you look at this: bodies defying the Supreme Court's the British Medical Association. That's a bunch of lunatics. I did some stuff on way back. Do you remember? Absolute nut jobs infested with queer theory. We condemn the Supreme Court ruling defining the term woman with respect to the Equality Act as being based on biological sex. That's the British Medical Association, the union for doctors. Doctors should believe in them in their droves. They're obviously absolutely bloody insane. Miss Joyce said NHS trusts faced huge payouts in the future if they did not update their guidance to comply with the law. In Fife, the NHS is defending itself in an employment tribunal against nurse Sandy Peggy, who was suspended after objecting to a trans woman in the changing room. Please do go and read the rest of the article. It's as usual. It's a good read. It's well worth a look. And of course, Sex Matters will continue to fight at the forefront of these ideas, although it behoves each and every one of us to be talking to people, to be asking questions, which is, of course, what the Warrior Teachers are doing. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. I feel a bacon butty coming on. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.